Bat family, and welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. You can always go to holybatcast.com or find us all over social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. You will find us. If you love the show, you want to help support us, you can do that on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/holybatcast. And as always, a big thank you and a big hug and a kiss to all you patrons out there. You guys are amazing. And you really make it all worthwhile, and you make it that much easier. So thank you for that. We are part of the Real Fans Podcast Network, so if you're looking for other shows to enjoy, you can check those out at rf4rm.com. And as always, I'm Andy DiGenova. You can follow me on Twitter or on Instagram. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. It's been a couple weeks since we've had an episode, so as we tend to do when we come back from a couple week hiatus, we're going to catch up on all the news around the DC Universe, but we also watched a new episode of Batman Beyond. Just when you thought we forgot, just when you thought we were never going back to it, we've gone back to it. Damn it. Because when we commit for the long haul. So yeah, we did the next episode of Batman Beyond. That one is called April Moon. So yeah, if you want to watch that, go run off, grab your DVDs or your Blu-rays or HBOMax or whatever. Watch April Moon. And then we're going to answer your emails, see how you guys are doing. So joining me for all these fun things, it is my pal, my Bat brother from down under. He's taking a little break from taking care of little Henry. It's Brendan. Hey, Brendan.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good, actually.
Hey, pretty good is pretty good.
It's nice Sunday morning here, and it's been a bit of a hectic week, which is starting to wind down, and yeah, starting to feel a bit more level again.
Wonderful. How's Henry?
He's good. Kind of been the reason why it's been a bit of a hectic week.
Oh, is he being a pain?
No. Like, Jess is back doing her first performance work since having him. And every night this week, so from Tuesday to Friday, she had rehearsals from 4 till 10 p.m., which just left me with Bub to do the night routine for the first time. And he's teething and also refuses to take a bottle. So it makes things tricky. Thankfully, we've started him on some solid foods, like just, like rice cereal and pureed sweet potato and stuff.
Vegemite, kangaroo steaks.
Not yet.
Foster's, Bloomin' Onion.
Well, duh. But yeah, so that it's been a little bit tricky. There's been a few moments, but he's just the happiest kid, except for when he's not. Mean, you know what I mean?
Catherine and I were just saying, without you guys listening, just how freaking adorable he is. It's not even fair. He's so cute.
It's like, a few weeks ago, I said to Jess one night, we hadn't long put him in his cot, and we went into our room, we sort of just jumped into bed, and we looked at him on the baby monitor, and I'm sure every parent does this, but I was just like, look, taking my bias completely out of it, he's effing cute, isn't he?
Oh, he totally is. He totally is.
Yeah, we got a cute one, because not all babies are cute. I hate to say it.
It's true.
But yeah, we did pretty well. He's pretty adorable, so we're happy. Like, even when he's pissing me off and just being because he's got a determination streak, hey? Like, he'll be like, because he just gets so overtired, and it's like how little kids get. It's like, I'm so tired that now I don't want to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives you this look of like, I'm not, no. But you're just like, sweetie, if you just close your eyes, everything will be okay.
You're gonna feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but
good.
No, it's great, He's awesome.
Good. Jamie is not joining us. We miss him. He was feeling a little under the weather this week. Getting cold up there. He said his voice wasn't the strongest, and then he had to go, watch his kids' soccer game or something in the cold, something like that. So anyway, he's sitting this one out. Hopefully we'll get him back soon. But yeah, just a little shout out to Jamie. Hope he's feeling better. And another little shout out. I mentioned the Patreon, and there's a couple folks on my list that I have been owing a spot on the show. And so I reached out to one of them. His name is Brent Lee. And I was like, hey, Brent, me and Brendan are recording in a couple days. Do you want to join us? And he goes, oh, man, I'd love to, but Saturday's my wedding day. And I was like, well, that's a good excuse to not talk about Batman with two strangers on the internet. So Shout out to Brent Lee. Happy wedding day. Hope you're having an awesome wedding.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I hope it was as magical as you wanted it to be. And we'll get you on very, very soon. But yeah, you and to you and your new wife, wishing you guys nothing but the best. Congrats.
Yeah, second. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just a passable excuse.
I'll allow it.
It's more of an excuse than Jamie has.
It's true. It's like, how dare you? Batman comes first, significant others second. They know this. All right, so you ready for some news, Mr.
Sure am.
I'm wondering how much of this news you'll be in the loop
So am
on.
I. Because you said there's more news than I thought, and I'm like, shit, is there?
That's what I thought, because it was funny because, I guess I should also say this, it's been a couple weeks for a number of reasons, but mostly because I've been moving into my new house. And so I was not up and running to record an episode for the past 2 weeks, but we're finally getting to a good place in the house. It's coming together. I'm in my brand new office, all Batman themed, natch. And so, yeah, like, that's why. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I was missing anything because I was like, there hasn't been any big news, no big deal. Like, Batman Day came and went, didn't it? It was last week,
It did.
right?
It was kind of uneventful compared to other years.
It was very uneventful, and I didn't know if it was uneventful because I was just busy and not paying attention to it, or if it just wasn't as big a deal this year. But yeah, like, Batman Day came and went, and we missed it. But the point is I didn't think there was a lot of news, and then I, started pulling things for this, and I went, actually, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit to talk about, so that's good news. The first thing I want to talk about, because it is comic book focused, but also it's comic book focused, but also HBO Max focused, and also live action. So HBO Max is going to be producing a 3-part documentary series about DC Comics.
This I did know.
Yeah. So this is going to be directed, produced, and run by Leslie Iwerks and Greg Berlanti. Leslie Iwerks did the Imagineering story on Disney Plus.
I still haven't watched that yet.
I haven't either. Shockingly, I should, but yeah, I just never did. It felt like work to me.
Well, it would, yeah.
It is. So, but yeah, anyway, I thought that was very cool. So yeah, this is being done by Greg Berlanti, who we know is a big, huge DC fan. And here is what Jim Lee, the chief creative officer at DC, said. He said, DC has a rich legacy of over 80 years of iconic storytelling. From the introduction of the genre-defining superhero Superman in 1938 to the amazing movies, TV shows, cartoons, games, and comics, which have been synonymous with superheroism for generations thereafter, we're so excited to dive into this history and bring fans along the amazing journey. So, I think this sounds awesome. I'm into it. 3 parts. Yeah. I wonder how long each part will be. But yeah, like I can't get enough of stuff like this. I love the extras on my DVDs, especially if it's a movie or content that I love. So 3-part documentary about the history of DC Comics. I'm all in.
Yep, ditto. I can't think of much more to add to that.
Well, great.
I'm definitely there. Well, I remember, it's probably like over 10 years ago now, I reckon there was that documentary about, was it the villains of the DC universe, or...
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called, like Rogues Gallery or something.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was feature length from memory.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm like you. If you make a good documentary about something I love, count me in.
Yeah, definitely. They did that one. They did a history of DC in 2011 because it was narrated by Ryan Reynolds. Because he was promoting Green Lantern.
I'm thinking of, actually.
Yeah. But no, you're right. They also did a villain one. They did a Joker one last year, which it was free on iTunes, so I have it. Yeah, they've done a lot of these, and I always love them. So anyway, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So, there's always more Batman content coming, not just DC Comics, and something that is coming, I think, sooner than later. Let me see. Is there a release date? I gotta look and see if there's a release date for this thing. You don't even know what I'm talking about yet, but I'm curious. Oh, nope, no release date yet. But something that you brought up a few episodes ago that I had forgotten about is the Bat Wheels animated series.
Yes.
So, Bat Wheels, we got a voice cast, we got a look at the characters. So we've got, the main Bat family here is Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. Batman's a big kind of burly Batman in this one. But what's interesting is that Robin is Duke Thomas.
Okay.
And Batgirl is Cassandra Cain.
Oh, cool.
So they're going with very non-traditional versions of Robin and Batgirl, but I mean, that's cool. Like, you want to mix it up? Great. And so Batman is being voiced by Ethan Hawke, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that.
All right. AJ Hudson is Duke Thomas / Robin, and Leah Lewis is Cassandra Cain Batgirl. I am not as familiar with the two of them, but you've got art here of the characters. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't. I'm going to do a quick Google search.
Yeah, do a quick Google. I mean, I think the character designs are pretty cool.
Batwheels?
Yeah, Batwheels. And like I said, Batman's kind of a bigger Batman. He's a very thick Batman. And then Robin does look like a kid, and he is black. And then Batgirl, it's the much more recent comic book purple and yellow look, but she's got a helmet on. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And then we got the cast of different vehicles, the Batwheels themselves. So the Batmobile itself, his name is Bam, and he's voiced by Jacob Bertrand from Cobra Kai. Redbird, it is Robin's red little sports car, so not the cycle, is voiced by Jordan Reed. BB is Batgirl's motorcycle, so I guess that's why the Redbird's not a motorcycle, because of Batgirl cycle. Yeah. Being voiced by Madigan Kakmar from Chuggington. Oh, not familiar. Buff is a big Batman monster truck, voiced by Noah Bentley. And then Batwing is voiced by Lily Marr. And then we also have the voice of the Bat computer is Kimberly D. Brooks. And then Mo is a robot repairman who upkeeps the vehicles, and he is voiced by Mick Wingard. So did you also pull up the art of the different vehicles?
Yeah, I'm looking at that now.
Yeah. The Batmobile is a great looking Batmobile, I'll say. It's very it's very 89 inspired. The hood's a little different, but
sure.
Yeah. So
actually, like the little ears on top of the what would you call it? Like the cabin.
Yeah,
like
he looks great. The Redbird, looks a little too Fast and Furious to me, like or like one of the smaller Transformers.
Yeah.
But so yeah, thoughts on this?
Look, it's not something that's made for me, obviously. I mean, it's geared toward a younger generation. However, it won't be too long before I'll be able to show Henry some of this stuff. And if this is an entry-level thing that can get him into the Batman world, bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
It could be really cool. Little boy in his cars and stuff. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Obviously, yeah, it's not for us. It's a preschool series. But I think that's awesome. Yeah, like my nephews, I hope they watch it. I hope they love it, even though actually Mitchell's getting kind of old for it. But maybe Patrick will be into it. And then, yeah, like for really little kids, I think what a great entry to the Batman universe here. And I love that it's got Batman, Robin, and Batgirl as well as the vehicles. So, yeah, I mean, I think it looks cute, looks fun. It's not the thing I'm going to be counting down for, but will I watch it on Saturday morning with a bowl of cereal? Odds are pretty good.
Probably.
Probably. So yeah, I'm into it. I think it's fun. Who knows when it's coming out, but this is going to come to Cartoon Network and HBO Max.
Nice. Hopefully we can get it on binge or something over here.
Yep. So not only are we getting a show based on the Bat vehicles, we're also getting a movie based on some of our favorite superheroes' pets. So DC's League of Super Pets is still coming. I think it's coming next May. Yeah, May of 22.
It's not a huge amount of time away.
Yeah, less than a year. It's coming. And here, I'm actually really looking forward to this.
It'll be fun.
I think it seems it like when they announced it, I raised an eyebrow like everybody else. But now that I've seen the animation and I've heard some things behind the scenes about the movie, about some stuff that's in the movie, I'm actually really looking forward to it. I think it'd be really fun. But they just announced another voice for it, and that is Mark Maron, who is going to be playing Lex Luthor. Mark Maron, I think he is hysterical. He is, he's a stand-up. He's a podcaster. He was in Joker. He was in Glow. I loved him in Glow. That was like my big thing.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Yep.
He's going to be Lex Luthor in the League of Super Pets. So I thought that was pretty fun. And because he was in Joker, it's nice that he's staying on the DC side.
Mm-hmm.
So, thoughts of Mark Maron?
Cool. I mean, it's one of those. Yeah, like he's a great actor. I'm sure he'll be able to pull off Lex without any hassles.
Yeah, fun. So, we got animated Super Pets, and we also have animated Aquaman.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I forgot this has been a while since.
Yeah, this one, it's been like 2 weeks. So,
yeah.
But I just watched the trailer today. So we got a trailer for Aquaman King of Atlantis, which is the animated trilogy coming to HBOMax that takes place after the first Aquaman film. And this one is coming out in like 2 weeks.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it was so soon.
Maybe 3 weeks. It comes out on October 14th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, shoot, that's right on top of us.
Fandom weekend, isn't it?
I think so.
Around that
I think
time?
I think it's the Monday after Fandom. I think Fandom is the 12th.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So we had seen artwork for this. We knew it was announced. James Wan executive produced it. So it does theoretically tie in with the film. And now we got our first footage in a trailer. It's a very short trailer. It's 40 seconds. So you really just get an idea of the animation style, some of the voices, a little bit of, the sense of humor, stuff like that. Did you watch it? I think you did. I remember you posting it.
I watched it the morning it came out, and I kind of forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I forgot about it until I started pulling stuff for this. So, yeah.
Yeah, look, similar to Bat Wheels, I don't think this is made for me. I'll definitely give it a shot because that's only fair, but aesthetically, it's just not what I'm looking for. It's the story and the show is going to have to be pretty spectacular for me. I think for it to really sell me, it just doesn't look like something that I'm not really interested in it thus far.
Mm-hmm. I know, when they announced this, I was so excited about it. I was so into it until we saw the animation style or the artwork, the designs. And then now seeing it in motion doesn't do much to change my mind. I want to be excited about this. I love the idea of an animated Aquaman show, but yeah, it's not doing it for me. It's too ridiculous. It's that Thundercats roar. Like, it's not even Teen Titans Go. It's just like it's like a step worse than that.
Messy.
Yeah, it's Thundercats roar. It's so ugly. And it just seems like everything's a joke. It's all goofy. It's just it's not for me. I'll watch it. I'll still watch it. Maybe I'll warm up to it like I finally did with Teen Titans Go, but yeah, this trailer didn't do it for me. It's just too ridiculously goofy. And it seems like we've come so far in making Aquaman cool. This seems like it's making him a joke again. And like, we've been trying so hard to get away from that. Why are we going back to it?
Yeah. Like, to me, how this is, it's set between the two movies or whatever, it kind of reminds me of Batman Gotham Knight. Was it Gotham Knight?
Yeah.
Where, it was meant to be set between, to bridge the gap between the Batman Begins and the Dark Knight. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'm hoping this is kind of the same in that, like, they say it's set between the two movies, but it's really got no bearing on the movies whatsoever. So yeah, same. Yeah, man, it's just not. I mean, they crush it in animation with the animated movies, or like every couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Just and they crush it with stuff like oh Christ, I'm blanking.
I don't
Like the
know.
Teen Titans show, not Teen
Young
Titans Go.
Justice?
Young Justice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, like just do that. Like I mean, I'm sure it's probably going to cost a little bit more money, but the product's going to be better and make people like us who are your target audience, let's be honest, actually want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And this just, yeah, it's so far removed from what we expect from DC animation, and also the fact that you said when you announced this a year and a half, whatever, 2 years ago, whenever it was, that it was going to be set in the same universe. Well, sorry, it doesn't even remotely look like it's from
Yeah.
the same universe. So, nah, you kind of lost me before you've even started.
Yeah, I know. And playing devil's advocate, maybe like Bat Wheels, maybe it's not for us. They're using it to try and appeal to a younger audience, the people, the kids who love Teen Titans Go and Thundercats Roar, the kids who were super into that style. Maybe this is just them reaching out for those kids. And if so, I hope it works for those kids. It just doesn't work for me as a fan.
For me, that's Teen Titans Go, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that already there? Like,
Yeah.
they reference those characters in that show, and Aquaman made $1 billion. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you need to appeal to a different
Well,
audience.
I mean, that's fair too. Do you really need to recruit more? Aquaman was already a huge hit.
Yeah, appeal to the audience you've already got.
Yeah. I know. I agree. So, yeah, maybe it'll be a nice surprise. And even if I don't like it or you don't like it, hopefully there are kids out there who will watch it and will love it.
Yeah.
But I'm not too heartbroken because I know I'm getting Aquaman back on the big screen, and I'm super psyched for that. So James Wan, who is no longer on Twitter, which I don't blame him, but I miss him. So he now,
Really? I didn't realize he'd.
yeah, he left Twitter a couple years ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I must have missed that
Yep.
because I thought Creepy Puppet was still a thing.
Nope. But he's still a thing on Instagram. So now you have to follow his Instagram if you
Maybe
want to
that's
keep
why.
up with him. And it's Creepy Puppet on Instagram.
Okay.
Same there. So he's been posting some fun little tidbits during production of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And so one thing we got was a look at Orm. Patrick Wilson is back as Orm. And did you see this shot of him standing next to his pal and director James Wan?
I did, but I can't remember it.
It's okay. Again, it's
quickly
been a
Google
couple
that too.
weeks. It's been a couple weeks. So it is very much Castaway Orm. Where
yes.
he's on a beach and he's got like raggedy canvas pants and no shirt and a long beard and long hair. So he seems like he has been exiled in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, but exile apparently did not hurt his workout routine because Patrick Wilson, damn boy, even with the crazy hair, he
weirdly looks like Bradley Cooper in the face. Like, just in the face. I don't know. It doesn't look like Patrick Wilson to me.
Yeah, well, it's him. And, yep. So he might be a little disheveled and a little out of sorts, but his workout is going strong because the bod is looking good. So anyway, it just said here, this was the caption that James Wan put. He said, "I found this guy, the real Patrick Wilson, stranded on a desert beach doing his Castaway impression. Hashtag Aquaman." So... I mean, there's a joke to be made about Patrick Wilson and then Wilson the volleyball. James Wan was on the beach looking for a Wilson, but he found the wrong one. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like times are tough for good old Orm here.
I was just thinking, have we spoken about the new Aquaman suit?
No, that comes next. One thing at a time there.
That's all right.
Tap the brakes.
I'm just trying to remember what we have and haven't talked about.
We haven't talked about shit.
Well, we do talk a lot of that, though.
This is true. But yeah, we have not gotten to that. That's next on my list.
Fair enough. Yet I said anything.
That's okay. I'm starting with Patrick Wilson and his rippling pectorals.
Fair enough.
So anyway, interesting. Where my mind went is like, oh, you want Orm to be powerless, you take him out of the water. Maybe that's the idea. That's why he's on the desert island. I don't know, but we'll see.
No, looks good.
But James Wan also on Instagram shared some new looks of Jason Momoa as Aquaman. So he showed, he had two photos. One was of Jason Momoa in the classic orange and green that he ended the last film with, which still, I think, one of the great cinematic superhero costumes. Just great.
Oh, translated perfectly.
Yep.
And it's one that you didn't think would, but it did.
Yep, he pulled it off, and it's great. But then, yes, we got our first look at a new suit, which he called the stealth suit. So it says, here's Pride of Gypsies, which is Jason Momoa's Instagram handle, in the classic Aquaman suit, and a sneak peek at his other outfit, the stealth suit. Atlantean tech based on the cephalopod's camouflaging ability. David Leslie Johnson and I were inspired by the 80s blue suit. So yeah, the stealth suit, it's dark, deep blue. I heard a lot of people say it was black. It's not. If you look at it, it's a dark blue. And the idea is, of course, Aquaman is swimming in the depths of the ocean. If he's wearing a dark blue suit, he is going to blend in with the depths of the ocean, hence the stealth suit. And are you familiar with the blue suit from the 80s that Aquaman was in?
I'd actually completely forgotten about it, but I'm just remembering it now, and it's not great. I much prefer the stealth version.
Okay. I loved that 80s blue suit. I thought it was...
Really?
I mean, it's very 80s, but I don't know. I thought it was a really cool new look for Aquaman. So I love the idea of being inspired by that. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the stealth suit?
I like it. I think had the Aquaman movie come out 10 or 15 years ago, this probably would have been the suit. Because you know how back then, like, everything needed to be black and dark, and people still didn't have the balls to really put a costume on screen that was ripped from the page for the most part.
Excellent. Excuse me? What?
Well, dude, even Batman was wearing black rubber, and he never did in the comics. It was, black and grey.
Yeah, valid.
We've only just recently gotten that, and now we're going back. Anyway, enough of that. But no, look, I reckon it looks cool. Looking forward to seeing it in motion. Momoa looks great in it. I mean, this is obviously a very heavily photoshopped image. I don't think he's actually standing in a desert. No, I think it looks cool. I'm happy we're getting both. I'm glad it's not here's the new updated suit for Aquaman 2, and this is all you're gonna get. I'm glad we're still getting the traditional as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I do like the stealth suit. I like that it's inspired by the blue suit from the 80s. I think that's fun. It's a new every time a new superhero movie gets a sequel, they get a new suit. It's just par for the course. Always. You're always going to get a new suit. Look at Wonder Woman in her eagle armor. Just comes with the territory. They got to make new toys. So I have no problem with that. I do think it looks cool. I think it's going to look even cooler in the film. Talking about the camouflaging ability, I do wonder if it will have some sort of camouflaging effect on the suit.
Hopefully.
That would be very cool. And I like that it's a deep blue. But I've said this before, and I think I even said it when we talked about Wonder Woman 1984, I am always going to prefer the classic look. Always.
For sure.
In every version of every superhero, every time they get a new suit, I am always going to prefer the classic look. So in Batman vs. Superman, I love the traditional bat suit. The armor is cool, but I'm always going to pick the traditional suit. I like it better. Wonder Woman 1984, I love the classic Wonder Woman look. The armor is cool. I prefer the original look. And same thing here. The stealth suit is cool. I hope it's used sparingly. I don't want it to be the suit for most of the movie. I want him in the traditional suit for most of the movie, but as long as there's a story reason for him to wear the stealth suit, mix it up, great. I'm down with that. I support it. I just don't want to abandon the awesome classic orange and green for the new stealth suit.
I have a counterpoint.
Okay.
To your argument, and
okay.
I don't know if it's something we're going to talk about, but I do feel this was way before we last recorded. I think the updated Shazam suits are a vast improvement on the first movie.
I agree with you, but that's a different thing. That is an upgrade to the traditional look, so it's still the traditional look. It's just found a way.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, here's, whatever, here's Shazam's winter outfit or whatever. Like it's
Yeah, you're right.
that's the difference. So I have no problem when they upgrade the traditional look between movies.
I'm glad there's no fake padding. There's
yeah.
less fake
So
padding
I
in
agree
these
with
new
you.
ones.
The upgraded Shazam suit's awesome, perfect, great, wonderful. I'm all for it. I mean, even Wonder Woman suit did change a little bit between Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984.
Brighter. Yeah.
It was brighter. I didn't mind that. That's great. So yeah, that sort of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when they get the alternate suit that is a completely new look, so they can make new action figures.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. I like the Panther suit, not the Sonar suit.
True.
Putting it in language you can understand.
Smart ass. But no, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. So anyway, I support the mixing up the looks, but I just don't want it to take over.
No, fair enough.
So, but do you know who else is getting a new suit? And I'm actually really looking forward to this upgrade because I think it will be an upgrade to the traditional look. It's the Flash. Really looking forward to the Flash.
Oh, for the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Flash continues production. No matter what Jamie Drewley says, it is coming, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm probably it might be at the top of my anticipation list. Is that weird?
No. Given we know who's in the movie,
Yeah,
dude, not at all.
I'm so excited about it. But anyway, when did this happen? Oh, just a few days ago. Andy Muschietti, he shared a very odd image on his Instagram, and it looks like the chest of the Keaton batsuit, but it is spray painted red with the Flash logo on it. And I don't think he gave any context. No caption, no clue, no nothing. Just this image. Very interesting. Definitely raises a lot of questions. I don't know what he's going for.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going for. I don't know what this is about. I saw quite a bit of speculation in the fan community trying to figure out what it's about, but I still don't know. But do you know? Do you have an idea?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, what good are you?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. When I saw it, I was like, that's a really cool image, but I have no idea of the context.
So I've seen, like, okay, here's the speculation I've seen. I've seen, it was Batman Day, so this was a way for Andy Muschietti to celebrate Batman Day, but also promote the Flash.
That's a really good point, actually. I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, me either. But it's like, it's Batman Day, but the Flash, right?
Yeah.
I saw some speculation about Red Death, which is which was from the comics. But to me, that feels like a stretch. I don't expect that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Red Death, if I'm being honest. But I did see people speculate on that. And here's what I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping this is Andy Muschietti's response to all of the fans who continue being crybabies and being like, hey, if it's a Flash movie, why do you keep showing Batman stuff? And so Andy Muschietti's like, okay, fine, here you go. There, it's still about the Flash. Are you happy now?
Is that what, did he share like another image or?
No, I'm just saying, like, this is sort of his response to those people.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
What do you mean you didn't see that? What are you talking about? You're not listening?
Yeah, sorry, I'm confused. You've lost me. So did he actually reply to the image? Did he say that? Or is that what you're saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. I hope he is...
Okay, sorry, I missed that part. I was looking at the images.
You know that ever since this movie has started production, you have a group of the fans who keep crying about it, going, if it's a Flash movie, why do you keep showing Batman stuff?
Honestly, because Michael fucking Keaton is returning as Batman. I'm sorry, yes, it's a Flash movie, but holy shit, if that's not a selling point, I don't know what is.
And I wanted this to be like I almost read this as like a little bit of snark from Andy Muschietti being like, oh, okay, fine. Here, you happy now? I spray painted the Flash on Batman. Does that make you happy now?
I've got you.
That's what I was saying.
You know, honestly, what I was looking at, I was getting lost in it. I was looking at, because I did a Google image search to see the image we're talking about again. But I was looking at the promotional image they released last Fandome with Flash crouching down in the front and Michael Keaton's Batman behind him. Because I haven't looked at that photo for a while. And I was just looking at it thinking, holy crap, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
It
does, but you still need to listen.
I know.
Otherwise,
sorry.
we have a really awkward moment.
Yeah, well, we don't want that.
Okay, so anyway, nobody knows what this means. It's cool. Maybe it'll all make sense next year. I don't know. Hard to tell.
But yeah, I think the best guess is probably the Batman Day thing. Like, I foolishly didn't even think of that. I was just excited by the image. Like, no matter what it meant, I'm like, geez, that looks awesome.
Yeah. So, anyway, we'll see. Time will tell. I mean, Fandome is 2 weeks away. And
they've got to release a trailer.
Something. Even if it's not a trailer, just some sort of promotional little footage, something like that.
Enough to get Jamie to believe it's happening.
Yes, you're right. If they give any sort of trailer, he can shut the F up.
Like, in terms of Fandome, obviously I'm looking forward to seeing the second trailer for The Batman, which did you see on Batman Day how Matt Reeves tweeted that if he wasn't being muzzled or whatever it was by Warner Brothers to wait until Fandome, he would have dropped a trailer on Batman Day.
Oh, I did not see that one, but I have a couple other tweets to talk about in a second.
Yeah, I'm looking forward, obviously, to seeing that, but I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most for Fandome is whatever they're going to show or bring to the table for the Flash.
Yeah, agreed.
We better get a look at Keaton. I
know. All right, well, more on the Flash as it develops, and they're off to the races. And another Bat movie that has started pre-production is Batgirl. And so Leslie Grace, who is playing Barbara Gordon, she actually did an interview with ET Online and talked about Batgirl. So here's what she had to say. She said, this was about winning the role. She said, it's a blessing. I'm so excited about the character. I'm excited to nerd out with all the comics. I've already been doing so much research on it, and I'm excited to learn how to kick some butt too. Because your girl, she's going to have to get rough and tough to be Miss Barbara Gordon, so I cannot wait. And then they asked what she's learned so far. She said, just in the bit of research that I've been doing leading into pre-production, I've learned a lot of things about Barbara that are very in line with me. She's someone who's been underestimated by even her own dad, and being the youngest kid, sometimes you're insulated from all the tough stuff of life, and she's so eager to prove herself and to everybody else that there are some things that she can handle. So this journey is definitely going to show me a lot of that. I feel like I'm an endless journey of proving to myself what barriers I can break, what limits I can break for myself, and I'm excited to put a little bit of that eagerness and drive and like almost a bit of stubbornness into Barbara's character. They're location scouting right now in Scotland for Gotham City, and yeah, hopefully they will start shooting sooner than later. But what do you think about what Leslie had to say about playing Barbara Gordon?
It's all good. Like, she seems obviously very excited about the role. I've seen In the Heights, she was great in it. Not that really gives you an idea of what her Barbara Gordon will be like, but she was, that's the only thing I know her from.
Mm-hmm, yeah. It was her first film role.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. It's a hell of a leap to take from doing your first film role to playing an iconic character like Batgirl. So, yeah, I'm with her all the way. I think she'll do a great job, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously she can't say anything too revealing, but there's some interesting stuff in there, about, great to see she's doing her research, she's doing her reading. She definitely seems very excited because, this is one of those role of a lifetime opportunities. And then talking just a little bit about Barbara proving herself and being underestimated, and like there's some cool stuff in there, which gives us a little bit of a hint of what the story could be for the Batgirl movie about how Barbara is out there trying to prove herself to herself and her father. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I just hope they put her in the cowl.
Yeah, me too.
Like I want the Batgirl costume.
Yep, I agree.
Not like a variation. I want, because we've never had it.
I don't want the stealth suit. I don't want the sonar suit.
No.
I don't want Icy Freeze Batgirl. I want just Batgirl.
Yeah.
Straight up Batgirl. So anyway, that's cool. That's exciting. It's more, more Bat content coming to HBO Max. But there is new Bat content on HBO Max right now. But it's not just on HBO Max, which is very helpful for our friends who are overseas like you.
Yes.
So one of the Batman podcasts has finally dropped. We've talked about these in the past. There are two. There's the one with David Goyer, which is not this one. And then this HBO Max one, which is called Batman: The Audio Adventures. This dropped last week. There are 2 episodes out. I've only listened to the first one. I should warn you that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been busy. You know this. I've only listened to the first one, but it's on HBO Max, obviously. But it's also wherever you get your podcasts. I was able to just find it on Apple Podcasts and subscribe like any old podcast.
I didn't know till you told me, because I didn't even bother looking, because everything for Batman Day was like, it's premiering, exclusively on HBO Max. It's like, well, I'm not going to be able to listen to it.
Yeah, and it's also on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
which is great.
Yeah, so it's very accessible and very easy. And it was one of those things, it dropped and I missed it. So again, and then one of our listeners was nice enough to tweet me and go, "Hey, I'm loving this. Did you listen?" I was like, "Thank you for the reminder. I will go listen now." So yeah, I listened to the first episode. I listened to it in my car, but then I wanted to see what it was like on HBO Max. So then I listened to it again on HBO Max, and it was actually really cool.
I was going to ask, like, what's it like to watch/listen to it?
It's very interesting, and I assume that it's the same thing that's on YouTube, but it's basically just an old-timey radio that has a very strong bat motif.
Okay.
And there's like a light that sort of pulses as the audio is going, and then in the background is like out of focus Gotham City. And then there's like dust particles blowing in the air and moonlight and stuff. So there's no action happening on screen. It's just like you're looking at an old radio as you're listening to a radio show. But there's enough like animation and lighting and mood with the visuals that it's actually really cool.
Okay. So it's not that I still fully understand what it is, but kind of like a Yule log?
Yeah, sort of, except you have to pay attention and and listen to it. But yeah, like it's minimal visuals, but it's still pretty cool to listen that way. So I was actually glad I did that.
Awesome.
So yeah, I listened to the first episode twice, which is why I didn't get to the second episode, because the first time I listened, I didn't even know we were going to talk about it on the show. So then I listened again, knowing we would. I think we can stay pretty spoiler free, but I am curious as to what you thought of it.
Well, we were talking about, the Aquaman cartoon before, and when this was announced, I was excited, but then when they sort of announced more about what the show actually was and the voice cast and everything, I was a little less excited, I'll be honest. Again, with HBO Max, I'm like, don't need to make it funny. Like, just do a Batman podcast. Like, Harley Quinn is great and it works really well. It's that real, irrelevant. I'm getting my words wrong. Irreverent comedy, and it works really, really well. But I wasn't hyped about them doing like a comedy take on Batman. So when you told me that the episodes were available everywhere, I found them on my podcast app, and I listened to the first episode on Friday, and I was genuinely surprised. I really dug it. I thought it was really cool. I like that it's not one long story, that it's kind of like a series of little, I guess you'd call them sketches, which is cool. The voice cast is fantastic. There's some really big names in there too. Yeah, dude, it's really fun, and that really continues on the second episode because I did listen to both. And yeah, it's something like Brett Spiner's Joker, for example. Like that's a hell of a good Joker,
Yeah, I
and
completely
he's
agree. It was really
not
good.
playing it for comedy. Like that character, um, Ike Barinholtz's Two-Face Harvey is very much a comedic take on the character, like how I guess I don't know if you'd say this is a spoiler, maybe. Like Harvey Dent is the straight smart guy, and Two-Face is a bit of a dick. Like he's an idiot, and that's how they're playing that character, which is something I've never seen done before. It's interesting. It definitely makes it funnier. But no, man, I'm in. I can't wait for the third episode whenever it gets released.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, honestly. Like, I was not really worried about it, but I also wasn't paying as much attention to it. But I agree. I love that it's a number of smaller stories. It's, like, easier to digest that way because for some reason in my mind, I expected it to be just, like, one very long,
That's what I thought.
overarching narrative. Basically like a book on tape, but Batman. Which is fine, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I just feel like it requires a lot more attention, and this is a lot easier to digest. And I even loved the little like commercials and things they did in between the
Yes.
larger segments. It's really fun to listen to, and I do think it is funny. There was one thing that made me laugh really hard, and it was the commercial for the birthday clown.
Yes.
That was brilliant. That was the best thing I've ever heard.
I like the ad for the singer at the Iceberg Lounge.
Yes, and that one too. So there's stuff that's genuinely funny, but the Batman stuff isn't. It played for laughs. You know, there are some amusing things throughout, but Jeffrey Wright as Batman, his Batman voice is awesome.
It is. It's really good.
It's great, and I agree with you that all the voice work here is great. Yes,
I'm
like
not sold with Melissa, whatever her name is, as Robin,
Villaseñor,
because they're playing Robin as a boy,
right?
but the voice is very clearly a female.
Yeah, I thought it was a little odd. I didn't realize it was her, but it was also fine. I just think I just took it as that they were playing Robin very young.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still just, to me, it's a lady's voice. It doesn't sound like a Nancy Cartwright or something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But yeah, Ike Barinholtz, like, yes, there's some funny stuff with Two-Face, but it's still not completely played for laughs, which I liked. And then Brent Spiner's Joker, like you said, is really creepy.
It gets creepier in the second episode too.
Yeah, it's really well done. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a really good balance of adventure and, you know, story and humor and a little bit of everything. And I loved the tone of it. It's very, you know, and intentionally so, very much like film noir 40s type, you know, tone.
Radio
it's like
play.
it's like a 40s version of Batman, but I think that's so fun. And it feels like a throwback,
weirdly enough,
but
it's like a 40s version of the 60s version.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
weird way.
And it feels like a throwback, but it doesn't feel old-fashioned. You know, it still feels relevant. I liked it. Rosario Dawson as Catwoman is amazing. I mean, Rosario Dawson, she should be given some sort of special Lifetime Achievement Award for her work for geekdom, because she's just always great and has done so much for us geeks over the years. And she's great here too. So yeah, the voice cast overall is terrific. And once I listened to the first one, I was like, oh, this is what it is. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. But this is absolutely worth your time, guys. Like, if you're a Batman fan, this is really good. Whether you watch it on HBOMax or YouTube or whatever, it's really good. Yeah, I'm very impressed.
And talking about, you know, looking forward to seeing where it's going and stuff, like, dude, looking at the voice cast, like, there's still a heap of characters we haven't, and again, you haven't listened to episode 2, but I'm 2 episodes in and there's still characters I haven't heard. Like, I haven't heard Brooke Shields' Vicky Vale. I haven't heard Tim Meadows' Dr. Arkham. I haven't heard John Leguizamo's Riddler.
Yeah, I haven't heard the Riddler yet either.
Heidi Gardner's Harley Quinn. I haven't heard. Like, there's quite a few in there that still haven't popped up yet in the 2 episodes. So there's obviously a lot more coming.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, the cast is great, but it's very heavily stacked with comedic actors, a lot of SNL folks. And it's because the writer, I think, used to be a writer on SNL. So
Yeah.
they're all doing it. But what I love is it gives them a chance to not just be funny, to do something different. It gives them a chance to stretch their acting chops a little bit. And I think that's awesome. Like, I'm looking forward to Heidi Gardner's Harley because I can hear it in my head and I can see her playing it a little straighter than maybe we would expect. Much like, like Ike Barinholtz's Two-Face. Like, I think that there's still menace in there, which I thought was really cool. So.
And like in terms of that was the thing that concerned me was like the SNL side of it because it's a very SNL heavy cast. It's the creative team have all been involved with SNL as far as I'm aware. And I mean a perfect example, and I won't spoil it, but like I think it might even be the opening skit of episode 2 is Jason Sudeikis' Mayor Hill making an announcement, to Gotham City, and it's about the bat signal. And because my fear is that this was sort of going to take the piss out of Batman, knowing that the SNL and the comedy sketches and stuff. The Mayor Hill sketch is perfect because it points out the absurdities of the character and his world, and makes it funny, but it's not taking the piss out of it, which I appreciate. And when you listen, you'll know exactly what I mean. I hope the Aquaman show can turn me around as quickly as this did, because that first episode, 10 minutes into the first episode, when I realized what this was, I was in. I'm all in. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And obviously it's HBO Max, so I mean it would kind of go without saying, but as someone who listens to podcasts all day while I work, Monday to Friday essentially, the production quality is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It totally is. It makes me feel like a slacker because it sounds so great.
It's professionals, but yeah.
They get paid to do it, damn it.
Awesome. They do, yeah.
So no, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you agree. It's great. It's absolutely, it's a very nice surprise because it was something that I wasn't, that's why I missed the release, because I wasn't paying that much attention to it. It wasn't on my radar so much. And now that it's here, I'm really glad I gave it a shot because I'm into it.
Yeah, bring on more, I say.
Yeah, so Batman the Audio Adventures, definitely check it out, guys. Again, HBO Max, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts, you should be able to find it. It's really fun. And the episodes are like 35 minutes, so it's also not a huge time commitment, unlike this show or, God forbid, Disorder.
Well, the other thing is too, like, because it is little sketches, the 35 minutes flies by.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, like the last almost 3 minutes is just end credits.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's probably closer to just half an hour. But another thing too, Ike Barinholtz was listening, and I was like, man, that's his second DC appearance as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Cool. So more Batman content on HBO Max, and there might be more coming our way. So we of course know about, we know about Batgirl, we know about the Audio Adventures, and we know that there is going to be a Gotham PD or an Arkham spinoff. God, remember, that's right, because the working title is Arkham, so now we don't know if it's Gotham PD or Arkham or both spinoff of the Batman coming to HBO Max. And now there is news that there also could be a Penguin spinoff in development at HBO Max as well. So based on Colin Farrell's version from the Batman. So they have not confirmed whether Colin Farrell has signed on to do it, but Lauren LaFranc is already writing a script, and Matt Reeves and Dylan Clark are executive producing. And according to this, it says it will focus on the Penguin's rise to power in Gotham City's underworld. So a second spin-off for the Batman. What do you think of that?
I think Warner Brothers and DC and HBO Max have got a lot of faith in this Batman movie.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to really blow up the universe.
Yeah, like we still haven't seen it, and we're getting so far 2 spin-off shows. I mean, look, I'll watch it. I'm in the bag for this stuff, as you are. I just hope it's good.
Yeah.
I can't comment because I haven't seen Colin Farrell's version of the Penguin yet, apart from a kind of a blink and you miss it shot in the first trailer that I didn't even realize was Colin Farrell's Penguin when I first saw it because he looks so different. Um, yeah, I'm there for it. I just really want it to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely get the impression, especially based on the trailer and what we've seen or what we've heard, is that this is Oz. We know he's called Oz. I don't know if he's Oswald Cobblepot or whatever. But that this feels like he is more of a low-level enforcer in the Batman, because it seems like in the Batman, everyone is just starting out. And I think that includes the Penguin as well. So if the movie, he is more of a low-level guy and whatever happens in the movie just kind of motivates him to take a bigger place, or he ends up taking a bigger place throughout the course of the movie, for this series to then take that and continue telling that story of how he continues to rise through the underworld. I think that could be very cool. I'm hoping that I will fall in love with this version of Gotham City and these versions of these characters. And if that's the case, then yeah. And if you can get Colin Farrell to commit, that's the biggest thing.
Of course, yeah.
Because if it's going to be that version of the Penguin, it better be that version. We know Jeffrey Wright committed to the other spinoff. We got to get Colin Farrell to do this. But if that's the case, I think that's really cool. And I definitely agree with what you said.
Hasn't Colin Farrell done TV shows?
He did in True Detective.
True Detective, yeah. HBOMax.
So he's not opposed. And especially for these, these streaming shows, you're talking 8 episodes, or it's not usually as long a commitment. So I don't think that this would be in development if it was without him. That wouldn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I think that could be really cool. And again, I hope that I fall in love with this, so then I will want more of it. So I agree with what you said. It seems like they have a lot of faith in this film because they're looking to expand it however they can and drive more people to HBO Max. So it's interesting. This is a little unexpected, but I am intrigued by it.
One thing that did make me laugh, when Kevin Smith talked about it, he was just like, if only there'd been a TV show that mapped the course of the rise of the Penguin in recent years.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
shit, he's actually right.
Nope, that definitely crossed my mind too. It's not like he was the second lead of another TV show that went for 5 seasons.
No. And then, I mean, again, with the Gotham PD show, I mean, it's no secret. I've said it on here before. Gotham wasn't my thing. It lost me after I walked away, partway through the 3rd season. I'm like, look, this just isn't for me. I've given it a shot and I just still can't get into it. And like I've said, it takes a special kind of Batman show for me not to give a crap. And they managed to pull it off. But I know you liked it, but menus at restaurants. But yeah, there's a lot of we keep saying the premise for the Batman feels very Batman Begins. We've also had the premise for this the idea of a Gotham PD show. Kind of had that, and then the a Penguin show. It's like, well, we kind of had that with Gotham as well. So I hope it's all different enough that it proves us our thoughts wrong, and it's all really good quality and enjoyable stuff, which look, don't get me wrong, I'm rooting for it. I hope that it is.
Yeah. Nope, I agree. Very cool. Well, we're going to see more soon. We got Fandom coming up, like you were saying, which I missed that tweet where Matt Reeves said that he would have dropped it already, but we've got to wait till Fandom. So we know we've got a trailer that is now 2 weeks away from right this second. As we're talking, 2 weeks from now, we'll have seen that trailer. But leading up to that, on Batman Day, Matt Reeves did check in, which was very nice of him, because he's pretty quiet on Twitter. He doesn't tweet a lot, but on Batman Day, he tweeted out, he said, "Wow, I've been away so long, just popping my head out of the editing room for a moment to say Happy Batman Day. Can't wait to share a lot more with you 4 weeks from today at DC Fandom. Sorry about the messy desk, long hours, hashtag the Batman." So it's a picture of him at the editing bay. Yes, lots of mess all over the desk, but with an image on screen, a pretty badass image, if I do say so myself. And it's an image of Batman with his grapple gun in the foreground, and looks really good. It looks like Batman. So I'm glad Matt Reeves popped his head out for a little happy Batman Day. And this image is so cool. We even had people go, is that the same outfit? I think it is, but it does look different enough that, yeah, I kind of had to question it. But I think it is the same outfit, just a really cool angle of it. But yeah, what'd you think of this?
I'm jumping on Twitter because I don't know if I saw this, to
What?
be perfectly honest. Yeah.
Oh my God. Don't you have notifications on for Matt Reeves?
I have notifications on for a lot of people, and for some reason, they just don't want to work.
Yeah.
So let me find him here. There he is. Because I saw the first tweet on Batman Day. Let's see if I can find this image. Oh, yep. Oh, yeah, no, I did see that. Yep.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? And don't criticize me here, but the Batman in that shot, for some reason, it kind of made me think of Val Kilmer. Like, I don't know, like, for some reason, it just kind of, I think it's the angle of the shot, like, it made me think of the shot where Robin's pulling him out of the rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, it's just I think the angle of the shot and the look on his face, but, I mean, to me, it looks like the same suit.
Yeah, so I think it is, but it does look just different enough where I understand why people would question it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've seen the cowl from that angle before. Might be what it is. Like, it looks less plasticine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it looks cool.
Yeah. No, it's a great shot, and you know, Batman with his grapple gun always makes me happy, so I like it. And then not long after, Michael Giacchino tweeted out his own Happy Batman Day. He says, "Happy Batman Day, everyone. We've been hard at work and can't wait to share what we've been up to." And he hashtagged DC Fandom as well. But he posted a quick little video. It's a 28-second video, but even that's misleading because there's only music for the first 15 seconds or so. But it's of him conducting the orchestra playing the score to the Batman. So we only get a little taste of it for, like I said, about 15 seconds. But did you listen?
No, I missed this one.
It's really cool.
I'm listening now. Hang on.
Okay, well, you know, Vamp.
No, that is cool.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds epic. It sounds very Batman. Obviously it's just a snippet, but that was one of the things I loved about the reveal video was the music, was that Batman theme. So much so that I incorporated it into the theme of this show. And by I mean Gorev, because he did it for me. But this is not that same theme, but it still sounds really dramatic and epic, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I think that I'm really gonna like Giacchino's score here.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The little bits we've heard, I've been impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah, same. So nice.
This
little
movie was
tidbits.
supposed to be coming out next month.
Oh my God, you're right. Like a couple weeks from right now, right? Wasn't it like October 6th or something?
It was, yes. It was not far away.
Oh, man.
God damn it.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, well. I've lost all sense of time. Yeah. Yep. Very cool. Nice little tidbits for Batman Day from Matt Reeves and Michael Giacchino. Super excited to see what they have for us in 2 weeks at DC Fandom.
I'm just trying to think how I'm going to make that work this year.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be weird that I'll actually be able to do it at normal time. Because last time I was with you, I was staying up in the middle of the night.
And you're even earlier than I was.
Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, wait, like, it's just going to be during the day.
I will still have to get up really early.
Oh, 1, 2. Oh, it's 3 weeks from today. For everybody everybody who was writing me emails. 1, 2. It's 3 weeks.
Okay.
Damn it. I apologize, guys. We have to wait 3 whole weeks.
Oh, well.
All right, no worries. It's all good. So yeah, 3 weeks from now, we're going to get to see some cool stuff from the Batman, but these were some nice little things to tide us over. And that's all I got for news, unless there's something I missed that you're like, how could you forget about blank?
No, I've got nothing. Well, I didn't know half of the stuff we talked about, so.
Yeah, well, that's what I got. But, fair amount of stuff happening, which is exciting. But it was your idea to watch a new episode of Batman Beyond.
Weirdly enough, yes, it
It
was.
was. So thank you for bringing us back, keeping us honest.
I just thought, unless we get back into it, we're never going to
finish
be past it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to be past it.
All right. Well, there you go.
Wouldn't it be cool to start reviewing episodes of The Batman by the time The Batman is coming out on the big screen?
Okay, that's valid.
So let's get this shit over and done with.
Let's get it over with. Okay, so here we go.
Thinking about this, and I was like, the listeners must think I'm like drooly with the James Gunn movie. Like, it doesn't matter what they put in front of me. I'm just like, nah.
Yep, you don't like it. Well, thank God, because we're going to do another one. Here we go, the next episode of Batman Beyond. It's been so long I couldn't even remember what the last one was.
Yeah, I had to ask you. I don't think I was old with the last one from memory. I think it might have been you and Jamie.
Could have been. So this one, we're on season 2. This was season 2, episode 22, April Moon. Thankfully, HBOMax remembered where I left off.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's how I found out. Okay, so this one was called April Moon. Story by Stan Berkowitz and James Tucker, written by Stan Berkowitz, directed by Butch Lukic. This one aired on April 22nd in 2000. So we've got a new gang in Gotham, a gang of 4 guys. They're all color-coded, as most gangs of 4 are, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But they're bad guys, and they all have these cybernetic enhancements. So they all have special powers given to them through these cybernetic things, and it's because they're working with this doctor who specializes in these things. But the doctor doesn't seem to be too happy about doing this for them, but he does it anyway. We find out it's because this gang has kidnapped the doctor's wife, and that's how they're forcing him to help them, to give them these powers, these abilities, so they can go out, steal, commit crimes, move up the crime ladder of Gotham City. And so Terry McGinnis's Batman is on their trail trying to figure out what's going on. Fortunately, Bruce Wayne knew who the doctor was based on a servo. He was like, oh yeah, I bought from this guy before. He's the best. Go check out with him. So that's how they find the doctor. And it turns out, he's not doing it willingly, but he feels like he has no choice. His wife's name is April. And so she is, being held captive. And Batman and him talk, and Batman's like, you gotta help me. And he goes, I can't, not until my wife is safe. And there's a picture of the wife. That's April. She's in front of the moon. He goes, oh, it's like the song. It was our song. And he goes, well, I built a failsafe into all of their implants, but I can't use it until I know my wife is safe. And Batman's like, there's got to be a way to trigger it. He and Bruce figure out it's probably a code word or a code phrase. And so they go out. Turns out April was working with them all along. And so this breaks the poor doctor's heart. Batman has a big fight with them, and he figures out that the code word was April Moon, which was not hard to figure out because it's the name of the episode. Kind of figured that was going to be the case. So he manages to stop them all using that failsafe, and they don't realize that the doctor knew what they did. And so the one guy escapes. He goes back to the doctor, and I kind of like the dark note that it goes out on, where he gets his revenge. So there you go. That is April Moon. What'd you think?
Well, I said before how people must think I'm like Jamie Drewley with James Gunn movies with this show, and for the most part I am. I actually didn't mind this one. I The gang made me think of like a weird effed up Wiggles, the way they all had
Uh,
their color coded skivvies on.
See, I
Um,
went Ninja Turtles, you went Wiggles.
it's because I've been listening to the Wiggles lately. Um, yeah, it wasn't bad. Like the story was good. The Doctor character kind of seemed like a bit of a twist, almost on like Victor Freeze. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
thought
he
that
was doing
too.
bad things, less against his will. So I mean, more against his will than Victor does.
Hmm.
You know, just doing it to try and save his wife. Did you that bit of a twist with the wife?
Yeah,
Did you mention that?
yeah, I
Yeah,
mentioned it.
I that took me by surprise because I will say though when they did the flashback of April and the Doctor getting engaged and everything, I'm like, man, he's punching above his weight as far as animated characters go. Like this seems a bit strange, but okay. Um, and yeah, it turns out she's a bit of a bitch. So that I didn't see coming. I'll be perfectly honest. Uh, I had a bit of an issue with the ending though. Like, I mean, I've always said with these episodes, like they end so abruptly, which I just wish there was like a minute
Hmm.
more. Like the opening credits for this show are really long. I wish they sort of just cut back on that and put that extra minute or so into the story just to give us a bit more of a, a bit more closure with some of them. But the issue I have with the ending is kind of like, so Bruce works out pretty much what's going to happen. That the bullwhip is going to go back to the doctor. I keep forgetting, just going to call him the doctor because I can't remember his name. Is going to go back to the doctor, and the doctor knows that he's been two-timing with his wife and everything. So, kind of know that he's going to get revenge, and it's not. He's either going to torture or kill the guy, which Batman ordinarily wouldn't let happen. So they kind of just like, oh well, maybe Bullwhip won't be back. And the end shot is this doctor with this drill going towards the guy's head. It's like, shouldn't Bruce have said to Terry like, okay, well, look, we need to find where this guy, where the doctor is because he's going to kill this guy. And no, it's like drill to the head, end credits. We're all good. Everyone got their comeuppance. It's like, I get that, but it's still not a very Batman thing to, to me, it's almost one step further than the whole "I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you" thing, which I don't have a problem with. But this is more like Bruce knows this guy's going to kill the Bullwhip, and oh well, he had it coming.
Yep, not my problem.
Am I wrong in saying that? Because
I
that's how it.
know. I think you're right. Honestly, it didn't really cross my mind. It didn't bother me. I like I said, I liked sort of the dark ending of him being able to get his revenge on him. But now that you bring it up, I think it's a good point of like Bruce going, "Oh yeah, they'll. I think that's what's gonna happen. Oh well, like." There should have been like the sitcom moment of Bruce and Terry just laughing and going ah, ha, 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 and then it freeze frames over them.
Or just like that extra minute where it could have been like maybe he won't be back, and you get that scene. Like, you don't need to have Bruce say to Terry, "This is going to happen. We need to stop it." But you cut to that scene, and you know Terry arrives. Well, Terry as Batman arrives right when the doctor's about to drill into his head, and he stops him, and like the doctor breaks down in his arms or something. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it would only be an extra 30 seconds, if that,
yeah.
just to sort of give it a little bit more of a Batman style ending, and
Right.
he stops this guy from actually getting his hands dirty by of his own choice.
Yeah, no,
But
it's a good point.
it just abruptly went to credits, as this show does.
Uh, Good point. I'm with you. I liked this one. When it started, I didn't think I was going to.
I will agree with you there.
Yeah, as it started, I was like, oh no, what is this? And then as the story unfolded, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. This is kind of interesting. It's different. I did see the twist coming, and I don't think I had seen this one before, but I think it was when we find out about how the doctor met his wife and that it was a recent thing. That was the tip off for me, where if they'd been married 20 years or whatever, I'd be like, oh, yeah, of course. But the fact that it's like, oh, about 6 months ago, she came in and she was my new nurse. And I was like, oh, so this is all brand new. And I was like, I bet she's in on it. And sure enough. So I still think it's a cool twist. I liked that a lot, of how they inserted her to win him over so that they could get what they wanted. I thought that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, I liked... Again, I didn't think they did a great job building the mystery of the code phrase because, of course, that's what it was going to be.
Yeah.
But...
It's the name of the episode.
Yeah, it's the name of the episode. But, once Terry has it figured out, I liked that last battle of him just taking them out with it. Was pretty awesome, too. The one dude, though, who has, like, the buzzsaws in his knees, that just seems painful to me.
Yeah.
That one, like, kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And not very... like user-friendly.
Yeah.
Because they're coming out of the joints. It's like, we'd kind of have to walk stiff-legged, wouldn't he?
Right, exactly. But I also, I ended up kind of liking the gang as a new group of villains because I liked how their abilities, they were all of the same genre, but they were unique enough unto themselves. So I thought they actually made for a pretty cool gang. So yeah. I thought it was a pretty good one.
Where I kind of thought it was going was the blue guy, when they, at the opening scene, how it shows him doing the jewelry heist, how they're like, you stay watch. And he kind of looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be a case of him kind of turning and being, becoming good or whatever. It wasn't. But I also think that Bullwhip being the leader, like, it's a cool name, Bullwhip, don't get me wrong. Like... I thought he had, like, the shittest power of all of them.
Yeah,
He's like the tough guy leader. I almost think if you had swapped the blue guy, whose fists turn to, like, these iron rod things, if you swapped his power with Bullwhip, maybe, it might have been a little bit better as well. But I think it was reverse engineered. I think they had the name, and then they made the power based on that. Like, Bullwhip's a cool name for a character. What can we do with that?
Yeah.
Whereas he was, like I said, he had the least impressive power of the entire gang, but he was the badass leader.
Right. Agreed. I just kept picturing Whiplash from Iron Man 2.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, but like all that said, like I'm gonna jump to a letter grade. Like I'm gonna give it like a B minus. Like I thought it was more entertaining than a lot of the episodes I've watched.
All right, fair enough. As always, I'm gonna go a little higher and give it just a straight up B.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's a pretty good one. April Moon, B and a B minus from us. So the next one, this is a title. The next one is called Centuries of the Last Cosmos.
That sounds like something I'm going to love.
Cool. I don't even know what to expect of that. That does not sound familiar to me at all, but what a name. Centuries of the Last Cosmos. So hopefully we'll get to do these a little more regularly because we are pretty close to the end.
Because I think season 2 is quite big, but then season 3 is kind of small again.
Exactly. Season
like
2
season
2 is long. Season 3 is pretty short. I think season 3 season 3 is only 13 episodes.
Yeah. So it'd be cool to maybe do an odd episode here or there where we do 2 or 3 episodes to sort of, get back on track and knock it on the head. Because, I mean, yes, it's no secret I want to review The Batman. But it'd be kind of cool to get to that in time for The Batman coming out in, well, allegedly still coming out in March. So.
Right. Cool. All right, folks. Well, I hope you guys watch this along with us. And if not, go watch it. It's a pretty good episode. And then next, watch the next one for whenever we get around to reviewing it again. But we're not going to say goodbye just yet because, of course, we have to check in with you fine feathered finks as we crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox. It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren. What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
Alrighty, here we go. First message is from our old pal Eric Carter. It says, "Hey fellas, I recently met Alan Richson and Ray Porter at Colorado Springs Comic-Con, and they were both absolutely wonderful. It's nice when you meet celebrities and they aren't what you perceive of Hollywood to be. This got me thinking, who are some celebs that you guys have met? Did they meet expectations or not so much? And lastly, who's on your bucket list of celebrities to meet? Thanks for all you guys do. The Bat community is better for having you. Keep the Bat signal lit and pointed skyward. Your Bat brother, Eric Carter." Thanks, Eric Carter. Love it. So I agree with you. Celebrities that you've met, some that have blown you away, or maybe not so much. I know some of these stories, Brendan, but
Yeah.
please share.
Um, I I've met a ton of these guys at conventions. Stephen Amell, Tyler Hoechlin, Billy Zane, Dean Cain, that's Millie Bobby Brown. I'm just sort of looking around my room. There's others
All the
too, but,
photos.
yeah, I won't list them all. I met a bunch of guys and girls from like the the DCCW universe. Out of all of them, and I think I've said this on this episode on Holy BatCast before, but like I still think the nicest one I've met's Dean Cain. I think his politics are bullshit. And as far as that goes, he's not the best person in the world. But honestly, he's what I expect from these people at conventions. Where, like, if I were to meet someone like that in the street and they're just out shopping or minding their own business, I'd never do this when they're having dinner or something. But I would expect them to maybe be a little bit like, they're just going about their daily life. But at a convention, you're there to meet people. You are being paid, and paid rather well, specifically to meet people. So I have a real issue when these people are not nice, particularly in that situation. And sadly, the biggest one for me, like Billy Zane was kind of arrogant. He didn't seem too interested, but he still conversed, which, but Hayley Atwell, man, I hate to say it, she was a bitch.
Ah, that's such a heartbreaker.
And she was like, Peggy Carter was one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I loved her in the Captain America movies. I loved her short-lived TV series. I was pissed when that got cancelled. I loved that show. I thought it was fantastic. And me, like, dude, I'm not a Marvel guy, but when I found out she was coming to Oz Comic Con in Brisbane, that's why I went. It's like, I'm gonna meet Peggy Carter. Hell yeah, I am. And also it's Hayley Atwell, so hell yeah, I am. Like, she's easy on the eyes. And yeah, like I didn't meet her for an autograph. I couldn't afford to do both, so I wanted to get the photo because again, it's Hayley Atwell. And I got a photo with my friend Maddie. Like, we actually split the cost, and we got a photo together with her. And we walked in, and I've again had photos with, it's not just autographs. I've had photos with a bunch of these convention celebrities, and even at a photo, sometimes more so than an autograph, like you kind of have a bit of back and forth with them. And I always take the opportunity to like thank them for coming, and I love their work, and I love them in this show, and I think they're great, and it's great to meet you. Thank you so much, and smile for the photo, and off you go. Hayley Atwell just stood there like a statue, could not have given a shit that we were in the room. And the other thing too that was weird is we took a photo, and the photographer was like, "Oh, that didn't work out," and then there was a small issue with the camera, so we were in there for maybe a minute and a half longer than we were supposed to be because the photographer had to do something with the camera, and she just stared straight ahead, like did not acknowledge us. I tried to talk to her, and after about 20 seconds gave up and was like, "Oh, you're a bitch. Okay." And look, she might not be a bitch, and I know people say they're like, she could have just been having an off day. Well, again, if I'd met her in public, just crossing the street or something, I'd give her the benefit of the doubt. But at a convention it was not cheap to get a photo with her, hence why my friend Maddie and I split the cost and got one together. I'm sorry, there's no excuse. There's really not. Like, you were there specifically to meet people. You're getting paid for it. Yes, acting is your job, but this is part of it. And you're getting paid to be there. Even if you're not in a great mood, fake it. You're an actress. That's what you do for a living. But yeah, man, it was really disappointing. And I don't have that photo on display anywhere because I just can't. Yeah, it was really disappointing.
Yeah. Well, first thing, Eric, I got to say, I met Alan Richardson as well, except I met him on a Disney cruise.
I remember that.
Remember that? I was on a Disney cruise, and I saw him from afar, and I was like,
pre-Hawk, wasn't it?
that was
I think it had been
that was when they
announced,
were filming Hawk.
Yeah.
So I saw him on the ship, and I went, "Oh my god, that looks just like Alan Richardson." And I swear this was days after they released the first photo of him as Hawk. And then I ran into him again later on the ship, and I was like, "I'm sorry to bother you. Are you Alan Richardson?" He's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "I'm taking my kids on a cruise." And he was very cool. He was very nice. We got a picture with him. He was very cool. I just love that he was just randomly was on a Disney cruise. So yeah, Alan Richardson was a great dude. I'll say the two celebrities I met who were everything you wanted them to be and more. One was Nathan Fillion, who is the nicest man you'll ever meet in your life. There's a reason he's so beloved. He is just the sweetest person you could ever meet. And the other one who just blew me away because I had such high hopes and he somehow still exceeded them. That was Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Zack Snyder.
No, Zack Snyder was great too, but Jeff Goldblum was like, again, he was everything you want and more. Like,
awesome.
Yeah, he was just amazing. Zack Snyder was very cool. He was very nice. Like, nothing negative to say about Zack Snyder, but it was relatively quick, but he was super cool. But like Jeff Goldblum, like, took time to talk to me, and he asked my name, and he asked about me, and he told, like,
was this at a con?
No, he was playing the
really?
piano in LA, and I went and saw him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, like he would go play piano at this bar in Los Angeles, and I went and saw him, and I asked the server, I'm like, I don't know the etiquette. Is it okay to go up and say hello? And she goes,
does he just play for the hell of it? Like,
yeah, it's like what he does for fun.
Oh wow, shit, that's
and
awesome.
she goes, well, I don't know. She goes, let me go ask. And so she went, and she came back and she goes, I asked him if you could come say hi, and he said, I insist that he comes up to say hi.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And he was just delightful. He was amazing. I was like walking on air. It was great. So yeah, those are the two that I'm like, Nathan Fillion, Jeff Goldblum blew me away. They were amazing.
Actually, I will say too, one person who I went in expecting them to be kind of cold and arrogant, and that was Val Kilmer. Back in 10 years ago, back in like November 2011, and I think it was pre the throat cancer and stuff. Mm-hmm. He still didn't look great, but he certainly looked a lot better than what he does now. I mean, mm-hmm. Yeah, it was 10 years ago, but you know what I mean? And he was a sweetheart. He was really up for a chat. Like, his line was massive, and he talked to me for a good 3 or 4 minutes, I reckon. I just thought I'd throw that in because, yeah, he was really, really nice, which I was surprised about.
Mm-hmm. And then the negative one, and I hate to even say this, but it's true and it's Batman related. Bruce Timm.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he went to the same comic shop as me, and one day I just went up and said hello, and I introduced myself, and to steal a quote from A Christmas Story, he looked at me like I had lobsters crawling out of my ears.
Oh wow!
Where it was like, why are you talking to me? And he just stared at me until I left, and I was like, okay, never mind.
All right, man, that sucks.
It does, but to his credit, like, I remember when he was on Fat Man on Batman, he goes, I'm a curmudgeon. I am an introvert, terminally so. And even people who work at WB, he has that reputation of he's just a grouchy guy. So it's a shame, but also like he kind of owns it. But
yes, he owns it, yeah.
But I just felt so stupid, where I was like, I just felt like tiny and I wanted to crawl away.
I get it, but still, it doesn't take much to just go, hey, man, nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then that's it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yep.
And it's kind of par for the course with what you do, and particularly in this kind of fandom. Oh, well.
Yep. As for bucket list, this is going to surprise no one. I need to meet Dolly Parton.
I didn't even think of the bucket list.
I need to meet
that.
Dolly before she, before it's too late. I don't know how I will, but oh my God, she's just magic.
My bucket list passed away a few years ago, and it was Roger Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I desperately wanted to meet Roger. I'm so glad I sent away for my personally signed photo, because I that's really, really special to me. But honestly, like, I think any Batman, any Bond that's still alive, like, I'd love to meet all of them. Like, I'd love to meet Michael Keaton. I'd love to meet Ben Affleck. I think that would be an interesting interaction.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a bit cold too. And same with Daniel Craig. Like, I'd love to meet him, but unless it was an arranged thing. And even then, I don't know, but I reckon he'd be a bit cold. Like, I still think, like, in terms of Supernova and stuff, the big convention here in Australia, in terms of the people they get, and the fact that he has had a resurgence, I can see them getting Timothy Dalton one day. Whether it's for the Brisbane leg, I don't know.
Well, especially with like Doom Patrol now, like
look, even Brosnan. Like, I could imagine him doing conventions. Whether he does them overseas, I don't know, but I could imagine, like, he's got that. To me, he's kind of at that level now where it's not that he's doing shit movies or anything. I mean, I haven't seen that Cinderella movie. I hear it's not great, but I think he's at that point where he loves being Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, like, he is nice with fans and everything. So, yeah. Like, obviously, I'd love to meet your heavy hitters like Gal and Cavill and stuff. But and if I ever did, it would cost a fortune. But, yeah, just to be able to say, hey, I love what you do. Can you sign my photo, or can I get a photo with you? It's the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, we can't spend that much time on every question. I think we just spent 20 minutes. Okay.
That was a good one.
All right, next question is from Mark Jurasevic. It says, hey guys, I was recently thinking about Richard Donner and the Superman movies. It got me thinking about them in context with Superman Returns. Superman Returns is largely criticized for lacking in action and being boring. However, it largely mirrors Superman the movie, which isn't criticized in the same way. There are no supervillains to battle, normal people are saved, run-of-the-mill crooks are apprehended, and the same type of natural disasters triggered by Luthor are dealt with by Superman. You can even argue that the space shuttle scene in Superman Returns is the most exciting scene in the two respective films. So what is it about the two movies that separates them so much? Is it the cast and their respective chemistry and interactions, cinematography, or just how the movies are put together? Thank you for your thoughts. Regards, Mark. P.S. Andy, you're an absolute legend. What you did took true courage. Good on you, mate. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. So
he moved house. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, it's not. Trust me, it's exhausting. So yes, it does take a lot. You just did it a year ago. So
yeah, no, I know.
So anyway, what is your theory as to why people are harsher on Superman Returns versus Superman the movie, even though they're very similar in a lot of ways?
I think it's the fact that they're very similar.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say something that might get a bit of backlash. And I'm going to preface it by saying, like, don't get me wrong. I love Superman the movie. I think it's a great movie. It's not my favorite Superman movie, though. Like, that movie still is put on such a pedestal. And part of me, look, I get it. The other part of me is like, guys, we really need to move on. It's been over 40 years. Like, it's not the best Superman movie, in my opinion. So I get what he's saying is like, well, Superman Returns got crucified for everything it did, and it's sort of exactly what Superman the movie did. But yeah, I think that's the problem. I think people even in 2006 were like, we're ready to move on from Christopher Reeve's Superman, and this did the exact opposite. it kind of remade that movie to a point. And I don't hate Superman Returns. Like, I understand the issues with it, and I think just a couple of small tweaks, if like clearly they wanted to carry on the Christopher Reeve timeline and universe and stuff. And I think just a few little tweaks here and there, they could have done it and it been more successful and it been more interesting. And yeah, like it's not an exciting movie. It's a well-made movie. And Brandon Routh's, if you're going to replace Christopher Reeve, and he was a great choice to carry on that version of Superman. But it just turned out it wasn't what audiences wanted. And funnily enough, when you gave them exactly what they wanted in terms of the criticism of Superman Returns, turns out they kind of complained about that too. But yeah, I get what he's saying, but I think that's why. I think the reason is because it was so similar, is why it got criticized.
I mean, I do agree with all that, but it's also the same beats, the same stuff, just done worse. So it's like a copy of a copy, and that's why. Not only is it, we've seen this before, but we're seeing a lesser version of it. Brandon Routh is great, but I don't think he was quite ready yet when he did Superman Returns. I think he's good in the movie. I don't think he's great in the movie. He wasn't allowed to be. Kate Bosworth was god-awful in the movie, and, I don't know whose fault that was, but there was no chemistry between them. So you've already got a Superman movie where we don't like Lois and we feel like we're watching a lesser Christopher Reeve. And then, yeah, to your point, I don't necessarily think people rejected it going, we're ready to move on from that version. But though the audience was ready for a modern Superman movie. So even if it did harken back, movies had evolved since then, and they wanted to see Superman in 2006 and what we knew he could do now. And the fact that the best we got of that movie is lifting a boat, lifting a big rock, like we knew that the technology was there, the effects were there, that Superman could now do so much more than that. The effects in Superman the movie are so impressive for 1978. And a lot of them still are to this day, but they could have done so much more with Superman in 2006, and they just chose not to. And I think that's a big reason too, is like, I think people would have embraced it as it was if you had had a better cast Lois, and B, actually delivered on some of the summertime movie action spectacle that you would expect from a big superhero movie coming out in June. And this movie didn't do that. So that's why I think.
I still think the biggest misfire was having Lex be all about land again. If Superman had have come back and him be the Lex that we know now, like 2006 Lex, like make him the big mogul or make him friggin' president. Like that would have been an amazing movie of him still being the evil bastard that he is, but Superman returning to Earth and Lex being president. And kind of adored by the public. Imagine Superman having to handle that. Like that's the movie that they could have made that I reckon would have been amazing. Mm-hmm. But as you said, it was just more of the same. It was just Lex after land again. It's like, really? Okay, we're doing that again. Fair enough.
Well, yeah, and I think that Kate Bosworth was very miscast. And I think Kevin Spacey was perfect casting, and then they just didn't give him anything to do.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, imagine him as that evil mogul Lex. Like, he would have been amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Such a great adversary for Superman. But they just, that's not the story they wanted to tell, unfortunately, and kind of paid for it.
Mm-hmm. All right, next message. Oh, it's a long one, so buckle in. This is from Joseph Blankenship. It says, "Hey guys, I listened to this podcast episode where Andy publicly came out almost a month ago. I had every intention of writing about it since then, even though I had never done so before. I won't go into too much detail, but August was a month from hell. Every week there was something else, so I was never in the right mindset or it slipped my mind, but here I want to talk about it. First of all, I'm thankful that you've spoken about this and being open like you've been so often before. This was no exception. I myself am a bi male and really appreciated that you spoke about the fact that we're pretty much invisible on the spectrum, even in the LGBTQ plus community, or at least not believed that we are who we say we are. We're either masquerading as one while truly being gay or straight. It's a frustration in life, and media doesn't help much. With bi women, it's just viewed as normal or sexy, but guys, it's not as simple. Anyway, I wanted to say I appreciate that you spoke about it, and while I thought that you were, I did never want to assume. Anyway, thank you for sharing. I see that you started reviewing the long Halloween films, and these are significant. These are significant to me for one reason. And that is Naya Rivera in her final role. I was crushed by her passing ever since the news broke, but I wanted to watch these for her. Not to say that it didn't have its own merit, because the other cast was good, but mostly it was for her, and thankfully it was very good. Even some of the lines that wouldn't mean as much before she passed, the biggest one being when she said, "Don't worry, I'll see you on the other side." It has a lot of meaning and to me and the thousands who still mourn her, so it's tough for me to really judge the films fairly because I can only see them right now. I hope you guys enjoyed them. A few more things. Andy, congrats on your marriage. Hopefully that goes well. I mean, you started your marriage during a pandemic, so it might seem easy afterwards. And Brendan, congrats on your first child. I hope you're enjoying all the joys and difficulties that comes with. Jamie, you've always been great to listen to, controversial opinions and all, and that's why we like you. Though I do appreciate that you're trying to mellow out a little bit. It's a healthy thing. That's it. Thank you guys for all that you do. I hope next year is better. It's almost time for the annual holiday shows at RF for RM, and those are always great. I always look forward to them. Take care, stay safe, much strength sent, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. Well, thank you for finally writing in and finally finding the time, and lots to say. First of all, I'm really glad that the Tim Drake bisexuality conversation meant a lot to you as well. As I've said before, getting messages like this of people who are in those same shoes as me, as us, I'm glad that what I had to say resonated. Just the other day was Bi Visibility Day, so happy Bi Visibility Day to everybody. So I appreciate that. And then Naya Rivera she was amazing, and it's such a shame that she passed, but I do love that she got to play Catwoman in the long Halloween, and I agree with you, she's great in it. So it sucks that there has to be a final role at this point, but I do feel blessed that we had her. And overall, I just appreciate the support and the very nice message. Brendan?
Thank you for your thoughts. I am loving all the complexities and everything that comes with being a dad. It's really hard work, but also really worth it. All I can really say is, I can't speak on your behalf or anything, but just as, a really good friend of yours, I am very happy that your decision to speak out has made other people, it's had an impact on other people's lives. Mm-hmm. I do love hearing all these emails that we're getting after you've done that are appreciative and everything, because again, I can't speak to it because I don't live that life. But I do know that, like I've said previously, I think like people can do what they want as long as they're comfortable and happy, and it looks like, obviously I know you are, but it looks like you talking about it has made other people feel the same way, so it's great. Yeah, absolutely. I will say, it was 2 days ago was Bi Visibility Day, which honestly is not something I've been all that familiar with. I think it's relatively new. If it's not, I apologize. I just wasn't really on my radar, but I feel like it wasn't on a lot of people's radar, but for some reason this year I saw a lot more of it. So maybe our time has come. Maybe we're finally getting there. All right. Next message is from Jalen. It says, "Hey guys, this time I'm writing about the BatCast fan cast from the last episode." Oh, so on the last episode we were talking and someone asked who we would voice, and I threw it out to the listeners. I was like, hey, you tell us who we should voice. So here's what Jalen said. He says, for Andy, I'd say he could voice Blue Devil, of course. But also Nightwing, the Riddler, Polka Dot Man, Booster Gold, and Jimmy Olsen.
Okay, I'm down with all those. I like them all. For Brendan, Captain Boomerang.
Of course.
Desaad, because it takes a cunt to voice a cunt.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And Mr. Mixelspitlik.
Okay.
And for Jamie,
I'll take Boomerang. I don't know about the other two.
I could see Mixelspitlik. I could see that. And then for Jamie, the mutant leader, Kilowog, Rorschach, and Lobo. Those are all really good choices.
They're really good.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh my God, Jamie as Kilowog is perfect.
That's awesome.
I'll also throw out Solomon Grundy.
Yeah.
And then just for fun, Tim Rooney could also be the Riddler, and Guy Milks could be the Creeper.
Guy Milks is a creeper.
He is. That's just typecasting. Says, hope you like these picks and keep up the great podcast. So thanks, Jalen. I love your picks. I think those are great.
That's really good.
All right, next message is from Tim Swenson. It says, hey guys, a great take on the long Halloween. I'm emailing in response to your challenge about voice casting. So for Andy, I choose the Jester from Crisis on Infinite Earths. A short role, but it definitely emphasizes Andy's spark. Also, his sign-off line is the ultimate. All right, okay. For Brendan, I choose Johnny Quick, also from Crisis, just because I was trying to find an alternative to Captain Boomerang. Oh, and here it is. Jamie's is the easiest. Solomon Grundy.
There you go.
Best part is you'd only have to record your lines once. I hope you enjoy the choices. I appreciate your voice and message in the Bat community, Tim. Awesome.
That's cool.
I love it. I love that people actually did this. All right, next message is from Tom Fallows. It says, hey guys, hearing Andy and Brendan talk about the lack of music in the long Halloween got me thinking, from the animated series, what's your favorite villain theme? For me, it's Two-Face. It's a theme I can whistle sometimes. Thanks again, guys. Tom Fallows. Oh, interesting question. Is there a villain theme that you like?
You know, all I can hear in my head is the Joker theme.
Yeah, same. It's the one that immediately...
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure the Penguin one's pretty cool, from memory.
Mm-hmm.
The Riddler one's good too. I mean, look, I'll be like, they're all good. Let's be perfectly honest. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say the Joker by default, because the second you say the villain themes of Batman the Animated Series, that's what I hear.
Yeah, same.
Because it's legendary, so I'm gonna have to say the Joker. But they're all good.
All right, good. Yep, I agree. That's the one that came to mind immediately. There's also,
Volumes.
What was that?
It speaks volumes. That's the one that comes instantly, like literally instantly.
Right. There's also, oh my God, I don't think it's really a villain theme, but I want to say it's from the Appointment in Crime Alley episode. There is this music that's like, it's like this really driving music.
Yes, I know what you mean. It's when the train, from the train scene.
Yeah, like in that, I don't think it's a villain theme, but it's just, that's one of those that immediately jumps to mind too. All right, next message here is from David. It says, hey guys, we've been watching the new season of Titans, and last week my wife, who's not a comic geek, says, geez, Dick Grayson is a complete man whore. She is, of course, correct. I propose the next time the three of you are all on a show together, you each name a female DC character that the original Robin has horizontally wrestled with. Last one that can still come up with one wins. You can do DC women that he has not slept with if that's easier. I look forward to every new show. They're always great fun. David Omlor. Thanks, David. Yeah, Dick Grayson gets around, and, good for him.
I'm 2 episodes behind on Titans, but I'm pretty sure when this email would have been sent, I know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, so. I think I'm 1 behind. But, yeah, Dick Grayson always sort of has been. But... good for him.
He loves to throw it around.
Have you seen that ass? Like, that's one of the most famous things about Dick Grayson, his butt and how much he sleeps around.
Yeah.
All right, next one's our old pal Stuart from Guernsey. It says, okay, guys, what are you most hyped for Fandom? There'll be so much I can't wait to see, but the one I'm most intrigued by is The Flash. I really hope we get a Keaton a Keaton rival in his suit. Maybe Keaton arrival? Maybe that's what it's supposed to say. It says, anyway, I mainly just wanted to check in, see how you're doing. Hope life is treating you well, Stuart. Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, Brendan, what are you most hyped for fandom?
I said it when we were talking about it before. Like, obviously, I'm looking forward to the Batman trailer. But yeah, like I'm really looking forward to what they're going to show for the Flash, because we know all this cool stuff about the movie, but we've only ever seen those concept art photos from last Fandom. So yeah, give us some footage, and please, for the love of God, give us just a morsel, a small taste of Keaton returning in the suit, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, when we have a new Batman movie, a new Batman solo movie coming, but I think that I'm actually looking forward to the Flash more.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's because we've already had a trailer for the Batman. That's certainly possible, and
I think it's a big part of it.
We want our first footage from the Flash. So yeah, I think that's the top of my list, but I'm excited for all of it. Really Bat Wheels. So I just hope that we get a nice long 8-minute trailer for Bat Wheels.
I think the other thing too is, obviously this movie is going to have a big bearing on the DC universe, movie universe moving forward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, obviously I'm so excited for Keaton and Affleck to be returning and stuff, but I'm looking forward to seeing what impact this is going to have on the universe and how it's going to allow it to move forward. And I do hope it can sort of solve all the bullshit that we've had to endure for the last 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. All right, next message here is from Weston Craig. It says, hey guys, this is about Scare-a-thon. It says, it's not Batman related, but one of my favorite movies to watch during spooky season is Lamb Chops and the Haunted Studio. Have you seen it? If not, I recommend it. It makes me laugh every time. Thanks, Weston. And yes, we are deep in Scare-a-thon right now. I have no idea what that is, so now I'm going to have to look into it. But thanks for the recommendation.
I'm Googling it now. Is it like Lamb Chops is in the puppet?
I don't know. That was where my mind went, but I have no idea. You tell me. Google it. Lamb Chops in the Haunted Studio.
I can't. It's on YouTube, but it doesn't. Oh no, yep. Halloween special in which Shari Lewis and her fuzzy friend Lamb Chops, Charlie Horse, and Hush Puppy decide to perform a scary TV show.
Okay, well, that does sound scary.
TV movie 1994.
Wow. Well, yeah.
It's probably not one I'm going to put on my Scare-a-thon list. I will be honest.
I don't know a lot about Lamb Chop, if I'm being honestly.
Glad it exists for people who like it.
Right. Okay. All right, next message here is it's Mark Jurosevic again. It says, hey guys, if you had to cast a new Justice League and Avengers for a reboot, but you could only use actors from the opposing franchises, who would you choose? For example, I would choose Henry Cavill to play either Doctor Strange or Tony Stark. Gal Gadot could play Black Widow, and Chris Hemsworth could be Batman. Cheers, Mark. Okay, so
I hate questions like this because I'm terrible off the cuff.
Because you got to think about it. So yeah, Justice League actors as Avengers and vice versa is
I'm
hard.
happy to do this combined with you. Just do a combined one.
Oh, I know.
Because the easy way is like Henry Cavill as Cap, and Bruce Wayne as
like
Iron
Ben
Man.
Affleck could be Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't see Henry Cavill as Cap though. I could see Henry Cavill as Thor.
Yeah.
You'd have to give him a hair,
it,
change in the hairdo, but I could see that. I don't think you have a Cap in the Justice League. Not really.
No, I mean, again, it's like the closest to Superman, like.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know who Ezra Miller would play, like...
Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Something like that.
Kind of like, the funny guy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Gal would... I mean, it's kind of has to be Black Widow,
Yeah.
but that's because they need more female Avengers. You know, you could give her, again, change her hair. She could be Scarlet Witch, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, you could gender swap Doctor Strange. Maybe and make Gal Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Ray Fisher, I mean, I think War Machine, but like, that's sort
Really
of
trying
the
to
same
place
thing.
Momoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Momoa could be Thor.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think you've got to put Bruce Wayne as Tony Stark.
Yeah. No, I do. I think so too. Ben Affleck would be Tony Stark.
I think that's kind of the main cast done.
Yeah. But like Chris Hemsworth coming the other way, I think could be Aquaman. Like honestly, he and Jason Momoa could swap pretty easily.
Yeah. And you'd have your blonde Aquaman.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Kind of got to go RDJ as Batman though, don't you?
Yeah, and I was gonna say Chris Evans, you dye his hair, he could be Superman.
Yeah. I think they're pretty much straight swaps.
Oh, do you know who
For the
Ezra
most part.
Miller should play? Spider-Man.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I was thinking of like the core group, but
Yeah.
do you know who Ray Fisher could play? He could play the Hulk. Cuz I think that like he could play like the
yeah, he'd be a
tortured
great
Bruce Banner.
Banner.
Yeah, like the tortured
Yeah.
Bruce Banner that turns into the Hulk. Like, yeah, like I don't want to just pick other black characters, but I think he could be a good Bruce Banner.
No, that's great. That's a really good pull.
All right, well, there you go, off the cuff. That's what you get. Thanks, Mark. All right, next message is our old pal Chris, the Objective Geek. It says, "Hey guys, question. If WB tasked you with making a Batman Beyond live-action trilogy, what villains or storylines would you want for each film? I'd have the first film be an origin, focusing on Derek Powers / Blight as the main villain, with Inc. as a secondary villain. The second film could adapt The Return of the Joker. The third film could be a Justice League Beyond movie, adapting the once and future Thing and a bit of epilogue, maybe with Vandal Savage as the villain. It would be sort of like X-Men Days of Future Past, but for DC. Also, what changes from the show could they make for a live-action movie to make you like it more? I love the show, but feel that while the villains have cool designs and decent backstories, that are comparable to any other superheroes rogues that isn't Batman, they lack personality, so I would try to work on that. Anyway, keep up the great work, Chris." Thanks, Chris. Yeah, Brendan. I mean, I think the first question is a tougher one, is mapping out a Batman Beyond film trilogy.
Oh, that's the part I found easy.
Oh, that's easy? Okay.
Yeah, because I'd have a 3-part trilogy of Bruce Wayne telling Terry about all his adventures from when he was Batman.
Oh.
It's like him, kind of like him training Terry. So he's like just running, he's telling him all these things about that happened to him. So it's all done in flashback. And yeah, so we get Bruce showing, telling Terry and us as the audience seeing these stories play out. And then the very last scene of the final movie is Terry putting on the Batman Beyond suit and flying out of the Batcave.
Okay. Listen, I know you're being a smart guy, but I think there's a version of that could be very good that answers the second question of like, if it kind of like Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, how the whole thing takes place at Batman Beyond, but then there's the huge chunk that is in flashback that's informing what's happening in the present. Like that format could work because it's sort of, you can sort of have your cake and eat it too, where it's a Batman Beyond film and Terry McGinnis is the main character and he's dealing with things in the future, but it's being informed by some cool flashbacks with Bruce as Batman, and that way we could have both.
Look, I'm only half joking. Like, I'm obviously taking the piss a bit, but I don't know, and that's my thing with Batman Beyond. I'm not a fan of seeing future Batman flying around in like Blade Runner-esque. It's just not my thing. So it's hard for me to answer the question and it be something I want to see because I kind of don't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have a trilogy mapped out, but I will say I really like Chris's trilogy here. I think that's actually a really cool way to go, is the first one being an origin story, the second one being a version of Return of the Joker, and the third one kind of blowing up to being a larger Justice League in the future. I think that's a great escalation for a trilogy, so I don't think I have anything better than that, so that all works for me. But as far as making changes to make it a little more what we would want, I do think, yeah, like having more connections to the Batman that we know and love would go a long way. So whether that be flashbacks, which could work, or reimagining the classic villains and including them somehow. You know, like obviously they did it with Return of the Joker, but what if the Riddler becomes a sentient computer program and he's causing problems in future Gotham, and that's so it's still a version of the Riddler, but it's still a new way of doing it. Like more of that, where instead of trying to create your own villains, doing new spins on old villains. But I will say, you know, one of my favorite Batman Beyond stories is the Return of Mr. Freeze, so I would find a spot for that in a trilogy as well.
That could work.
Wow, it's like he knew we were going to go back to Batman Beyond in this episode.
It's perfect timing.
All right, so next message. This is from Samuel. He's Bat Sam from Boston. He goes, this is about Titans. I love the show, but I've got to ask, does anyone that works on the show realize that Red Hood sounds like Lord Helmet from Spaceballs? Best to you and the crew, Bat Sam from Boston. Thanks, Bat Sam. You know, I didn't even notice, but now the next time I watch, I will notice. So thanks for the heads up. Did you notice, Brandon?
Not really, but yeah, now that you say it, it's kind of there.
Yeah. So there you go. Next question is also about Titans, but it's about the latest episode that neither of us have watched. So I'm not going to read it yet. Yeah. It's not totally spoilery, but it's about the new episode. So I can't really speak to it yet. So this
it's just one of those. It's one of those shows that Jess and I watch together, and just with her being back performing this week, we just haven't had time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll answer that next time. But that's it. We're going to close the Wayne Manor mailbox. Thank you to everybody who wrote in. We do appreciate it. We love hearing from you guys. If you've got a message for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to Holy BatCast at rf4rm.com. And I should say, next week, I have big plans over the weekend. My family is coming to visit me here in Florida, so there will not be a new BatCast next weekend. But that doesn't mean we're going away. Next week after that. Hopefully we'll get one together at that point. So we'll see you in about 2 weeks. Just wanted to give you guys the heads up. We're still working out the kinks and figuring out the new schedule, but we're doing the best we can. So thank you guys for your patience. But that's where we're going to wrap up this episode of the show. Brendan, thank you for making the time.
No worries, my friend. You know I'm always here if we can make the schedules work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, it's good to have you. I hope you enjoyed being had.
I always love being had, especially by you.
All right. Tell our friends where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Loey007. Not hard to find. And yeah, I'm sort of just, when I get the chance at the moment, like doing Scare-a-thon stuff, and honestly kind of on the countdown to Halloween Kills more than anything.
Yeah.
That's my excitement at the moment, which I found out last night comes out here 2 weeks after it does in America.
Oh, man.
So that's going to be tough because I really want my first time to be in the cinema. But it's also streaming on Peacock, which means it will be all over the internet.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's going to be very tough, my friend. I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able
strong.
to last.
Be strong.
I mean, I'll see it in the cinema regardless, but yeah, it's going to be very tough.
All right. Well, hang in there. We'll talk about it as we go. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening, for downloading the show. Please do subscribe so you never miss an episode, because we are still around. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And as Michael Keaton's Batman says, I want you to tell all your friends about me. Hey, you think they'll have Michael Keaton say I'm Batman again?
They better. That better be the first two words out of his mouth.
Come on. Anyway, go to holybatcast.com. There was a minute where the site, this is how much attention I've not been paying. The site got shut down because I didn't pay for it.
Wow.
So it's back up again, but what's funny is a listener emailed me about it, so they're paying more attention than I am, but it's paid for, it's back up, so you can go back to holybatcast.com again, or find Holy BatCast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. It's just Holy BatCast. Again, if you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. So that'll do it. On behalf of Brendan and absentee Jamie, I've been Andy. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
What about April and Bullwhip?
Gone too. Both of them.
They'll be back. They always come back. Tell me something, though. Does Bullwhip know that the doctor saw him with April?
No way. By the time he came out of the townhouse, I'd already put the doctor in the cellar.
Then maybe Bullwhip won't be coming back.
Why do you say that?
I sure am glad you didn't leave town, Doc.
I couldn't.
Oh yeah, April. Don't worry. She's doing fine. Can't wait to see you again.
Uh-huh.
You do this one last thing for me, and she's all yours.
Uh-huh.
But don't just repair me. Make me stronger, less vulnerable too. And don't hold back. Understand?
I understand. No holding back.